Hi, it's Thursday, August 29th, 2019, and this is the Pro and the Con Show, and I'm your host, Michael James On. So, doing the show every day, almost every day, trying to encourage us to be better citizens, to be more involved, goes way beyond, well, not way beyond, but beyond voting, to actually understanding the information and being focused on, the who, the what, the where, the when, the actual news, and setting aside a lot of the opinion of other people and just forming your own opinion and being open to understanding, the truth, the pro and the con, the for and against, the good and the bad. Hence the Pro and Con Show. So a lot of times I go through some different websites and look at the information and see how it's being presented and how it's being spun, if you will. But today I just want to talk about tuning out. So last time I was home visiting with my mother, and she's actually told me this a few other times, that she's so disappointed and I don't know, frustrated, I guess, by all the polarized battling and stuff like that. And she said, it just inundates you with people yelling and screaming at each other. And so she said, and she has been saying for a while now, maybe a couple of years, I don't watch news anymore. I don't listen to news. I don't read the news. No. I'm done with that. Okay, so my mother's almost 90, and maybe she's at a point in her life where, the future, for the most part, doesn't matter, although she has sons and grandchildren. She has sons and a daughter and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and there'll be, whatever generations beyond those, which will still be here and still fighting the good fight, I guess, making a living and living on this planet. But the reason why I bring it up is that I had a conversation with a neighbor. I was at the local library. My wife works there, and I was volunteering. I was doing some work there, and I ran into another fellow that he's lives down the street. He's also doing some work at the library, and we started talking about like the news and stuff like that. And because I was just mentioning to him that one of the House of Representatives people in my district, or our district, just had announced that they were going to resign and so on. And anyway, they got the conversation going, and he said, "Nah," he said, "I'm tuned out. I have stopped, listening to any of it." And it was a very similar story. Just tired of kind of like the continuous abrasive rhetoric, counter. There was just no place for reason and some kind of accommodating view. And he's like, you turn on television, it's just people screaming at each other. I'm done with it. And so I took the opportunity to talk to him just about a lot of the things that I've been talking to people that are watching these videos, that this idea of getting rid of a lot of this antagonism between these two political parties is you circumvent them. You go around them by adopting some election reforms where these people and all their money and influence and whatnot are no longer involved. So we were talking about that, kind of, if you will, this jury duty kind of concept, only expanded. And And then I was talking to him about a lot of the stuff that I, again, talked to you about, being focused on the who, what, the where, and the when, and looking at different streams of information. But the other thing, I mentioned to him was, and the reason why this particular show today and the topic at hand is, hey, and I've actually, just another quick tangent, I've actually heard several other people, acquaintances and stuff like that, kind of make the same claim that they're just tired of it, so they're just checking out. Okay, so the problem with that is, and it would seem to be obvious, if you aren't participating in your government, then whatever happens, you're not going to have any influence on it. And we're in a place right now where we could, make things a whole lot better or make things a whole lot worse. And, I would argue that right now is really a bad time to be checked out. So I guess I'm asking you not to do that, you don't have to read, and so a suggestion that my wife had was like, well, don't watch a lot of television, then just read a lot of news printed articles and that kind of stuff. So you could go to these websites that I go to, or you could subscribe to a couple of different papers. And this is what I suggest you do if you're really fed up with the kind of stuff that you see on television and on social media. Then okay, leave both of those behind and resort to an old, tried and true news media, which is newspapers. Try to find go ahead and subscribe. Okay, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but not a lot. Newspapers don't cost that much. And subscribe to a couple different newspapers. Go and look and, try to find one or two or one that, kind of is more conservative leaning, and one that's a little bit more liberal leaning. And they're easy that you can just Google that on the internet and you can find them, and then subscribe to both of them and get them and then read them and compare the kind of information that's in there, and you'll find if there is some biases, and there will be, okay, but you'll find that you'll easily see what they are, and you'll get to the facts, just like the analogy I've used many times. You walk into a room where a bunch of kids have been fighting. You get, no one's guilty of doing anything, yet they were fighting like crazy, and, there's bloody noses and broken stuff and all that stuff, the typical stuff. And okay, the way to get the answer is to look at the different sources and hear what they have to say, separate from the others, and then put together the picture of what really happened. And it'd take a little bit of extra time, but not that much. And your country is, and the future generations of your children, your other family members, your neighbors, your friends, your co-workers. We deserve it. We deserve it. We deserve everyone taking at least an hour a week kind of thing to spend some time to really understand the issues, and not just a one-sided viewpoint of those issues, but the whole of them. Okay, so for Thursday, August 29th, 2019, this is Michael James Ott and the Pro and Con Show. Thanks for watching. Another show tomorrow, although I'll be off for 10 days or something. I'm going to Alaska. I think it's going to be hard for me to keep the show going. So for those 10 days, no shows. All right. Until the next show, roughly 10 days. Bye for now.